Okay, good afternoon, everyone. We'll start our lesson 4. This week, we're looking learning outcome 4. And previous class, we already had 3 lessons and we cover LO1, which was mainly the resident, the rule of resident, residencies. We discuss about, different type of taxes. We discuss about the Finance Act 2024-25. We had a discussion about the personal allowance. We discussed about VAT, different VAT scheme, and we had a discussion about employment income, and some discussion was about ethics. Second lesson more was about the tax planning, and we had discussion on various issues within a tax planning with the legal. Then lesson 3 was companies, corporation tax. Uh, we discuss about capital allowance, and written down allowance. We discuss main pool, special pool, and we discuss about, if you have the mid-year asset purchase, how we can, allocate things. That was the key discussion, and we linked to the ethics and the planning, and we need to be safeguarding. That was the key discussion as well, during our last lesson. Okay, this week, please be looking communication taxation information to all relevant stakeholders. Yes, sometime maybe a question mark thinking why they included this, learning outcome in basically the pure taxation unit. But of course, ultimately there are the various stakeholders, those are really interested in our information, and we want to make their expectation, and we want to be, as accountant, really we need to be focused on true and fair information, of course, in the light of the law and as well ethics, because we have to comply with the compliance, whichever professional body you're a member. Okay, so during last few lessons we had a discussion to remember easily our ethics. So popular people chat in office. So if you want PP, CIO, some people are very famous. They carry on chatting. To remember this word itself is the abbreviation of professional behaviors, professional competencies, and due care. When we say professional behavior, unbiased, not self-interest, meeting all the compliance rules, true and fair information. When we say professional competencies and due care, it means up-to-date knowledge about, we have to do CPDs. Of course, rates carry on changing, and it's sometimes very difficult to update, ourselves every area. Of course, software itself, lot of nitty-gritty really, which we can, but it's good to be, we have the 35 hour in a year CPD. You're a member of IFA as a student, please, you can join network event. Please, so if you go IFA website, it's quite good, to explore about, and you can attend those meeting online seminar. Okay, confidentiality, of course, we have a GDPR, we have to follow the ethics as well. We're not declaring the information to third party without the consent of the client. When it's a wider interest of society and involved in, and then you can declare, if the court will say to do so. Integrity is mean honest, and the information, of course, we'll try our best, we rely more on the information whichever provided us client, we not investigated. Objectivity, of course, our objective is unbiased, true, fair information declaration, and giving the best, uh, advice to clients, accordingly as our objectives. We had a discussion about parent, the company who own more than 50% share of other companies, that will be called subsidiary of the parent. Associate, if we have a 20 to 49% shares, in other company, that we call associate. And we look the simple is if less than 20% investment in any company you own their share, we call is a simple investment, like you have investment in shares. Okay, so the capital gain tax we have to pay, we can look around the losses again, the gain we can carry forward, brought forward up to 5 years. VAT, value added tax, we discuss about 20%, 5%, and proportion, if we have a 20% using for private, domestic as well commercial, so you can reduce VAT to 5%. NI, national insurance, personal allowance, non-saving income, employment income, which we already had a discussion during our last lesson. Okay, so this week, please, is the key focus is the tax planning, ethics, and stakeholders. So when we say stakeholders, it means anyone who has any interest in the business is called stakeholder. Okay, so we included the list of the rates here, please, is the Finance Act 2024-25. So please, we can follow still saying the same 12,570. And then, of course, we can look around 37,700. Please, things carry on changing. It's good to be review and apply the rates, because up to 31st January, which normally your tax return due and we can submit, that we can apply these rates. Of course, software is embedded these rates, so it's a matter of including the software automatically, but for the sake of, if you need to give the advice to clients, and we should be aware of, advice to clients, accordingly. And major our clients come for the taxation planning purposes, and those we need to be look around. Okay, yes, of course, pensions and all other demands, a lot of things changing, and the HMRC sending letter to the pensioner if you have saving more than 3 to 5,000, then of course you must have to declare, you're not declared in the past, so you have to be make sure they are reminding now. So yes, car CO2 emission levels, of course, we can look around in the man pool, special pool, then, so please, we had a discussion about corporation tax and the rates, then we can look around further under the Finance Act accordingly, whichever year you want to follow. Yes, value added tax, which we already had discussion, is going to be changed the threshold to 87. We need to be look around those, whichever Finance Act. Of course, inherent tax, which we need to be look around 325,000. And then, of course, resident nil rate ban, and we can look around that rate and connected person. Yes, how many years inherit properties and the interest rate, official rate, those we need to be look around accordingly, because the rates carry on interest rate. Base rate is changed to 4% now, and we look around in 2024 and 5 NI contribution penalties. Yes, if we not follow and not submit, tax return, we can look around things. Okay, so the criteria 4.1, please, these are all the assessment criteria when we'll do assignment. So we can, when we'll do LO1, so we can open lecture slide, the week 1, LO2 week 2, LO3 week 3, and LO4 is the week 4. Okay, so stakeholders mean anyone who has any interest in the business, we call stake. Even the generation will come after us, also stakeholder, they have the interest in the business. So stakeholder analysis is the key part of formulating the organization strategies, action plan. We can group, some stakeholders have the more power, some stakeholders have the less power. So we can say power and interest metric, which is number of, the theories they gave, the theories we need to be balanced. Some stakeholders directly impacted, some stakeholders indirectly impacted. So we need to be satisfying the needs. And in the past, we were the key focus to meet the shareholders, because the shareholders also stakeholders, but not all the stakeholders are the shareholders. So we need to be look around their interests, and we need to be develop the balanced strategy. So of course they are interested in our tax affairs and declaring and preparing account. So because they use the financial statement. So stakeholders are broadly categorized into three, which we can say internal stakeholders like employees, connected shareholders, and external like a government or external agencies can be. So internal stakeholders are immediately connected to the organization. So we can look around like, employees, they are interested in pay, working condition, and the job security. So we can think about if they are spending money towards the job, and then of course, we can adjust their taxes. We can, as an employer, we can request to increase the personal allowance, because that will automatically the expenses can be adjusted. So which we can request, and we can look around manager directive their pay. And it's not, like Barclay Bank, few years back, not on the single penny profit, and the CEO of the company being awarded, one more than 1 million bonus. So you have to think about those, because we have the various other stakeholders. Their sentiment need to be, and their expectation need to be met. And then some stakeholders, we have the contractual relationship with them. Shareholders study how the income, the customer, yeah, satisfaction, and the suppliers paid, promptly. That's their interest. So we can look around their expectation. We have to meet their expectation. So stakeholders, power and interest metrics, which separate book I will give you, just on the stakeholders. If you want to, for the sake of reference, you can. Otherwise, it's quite good to look around Kaplan. Kaplan is a publisher that's carry on number of things. Or if you want stakeholders mapping document, always good to be just say stakeholders and stakeholders article, ACC article on stakeholders. So that's the good way to set in the Google. So you can find number of article, and you can reference ACC website. That's of course is a professional body, and always good to be used for your assignment purposes when we'll discuss further, which will go through. External stakeholders include the government, the local authority, the group have the quite diverse objective, and varying the ability to ensure which we need to be look around organization meets its objective. So community at large, we have to work in the community interest. We have the CSR, corporate social responsibility, environmental pressure group. Of course, we need to be look around for the sustainability point of view as well. Three P's, profit, planet, and people. We have to care about their interests. The government, of course, they are quite interested, the transparency, the taxes and things. Trade union, of course, they have to protect the interest of their clients. So we have to be look around the stakeholder, the union, because union are very precious and very powerful. And if we don't meet their expectation, we can't really sustain the longer term in the business. Okay, stakeholders conflict, because the various conflicts we have with the stakeholders, like employees want more salaries and the managers want more bonus. So we can look around the cost and efficiency. We can look around the customer versus shareholder. Customer want cheaper price, customer want good quality, but if we sell the cheaper product, ultimately what will be happen? No money will be left for the shareholders in shape of the dividend. We can't pay them. Of course, we can't really meet their expectations. Okay, so we can look around the general public versus shareholders, effect of environment versus the profit. So those we need to be look around the managers versus shareholders, managers, growth versus independency. So we have to look around, their expectations accordingly. We have the number of authors resolving the stakeholders concept. So conflict need to be well managed. As a manager, we have to satisfy sequential, attention we need to be put, on the management really focus on the stakeholder need, and their strategy need to be made. The side payment where the stakeholders' primary objective cannot be met, so they will be compensated in other ways. So we have to think about, maybe we can think about, if we not really paying dividend, why we not paying dividend? Because maybe we are investing and expanding our business, and the future value of the share will go up, and ultimately the shareholders can exercise of the powers, because that's, we need to look around different stakeholders they have. We have Menlo law, which is developed, the metrics which we need to be look around to classify the stakeholders according to the power and interest. The mission statement of the company will not supposed to be contradict with corporate governance. In the board of governance need to be executive, non-executive, implies in the union and representation, not the top levels. Only management make the decision and declare the bonus and the commission according to their interest. So we need to be best managed, and corporate ethics, of course, organization need to be fulfill, else should we have a good corporate citizen, because the organization definition is a citizen, artificial person. They have to treat other human beings in society equally and meet their expectations. That is very crucial. Please, if any question, if you like to ask, very welcome. Okay, so we included different, we list the stakeholders. Yes, so in the large company, in the private company, in the not, yes, so we can look around primary accountability, principal stakeholders, shareholders. We can look around the main method of monitoring financial statements, at the government board structures, governance, we need executive and non-executive. We can look around openness and transparency, internal stakeholders within and external stakeholders, outside connected stakeholders. Those are more connected with the so with the with the company. So lower price, quality, high price, assured, demand. So we have to think about the financer who give the loans. We can think about, everyone the interest. So then we have 4.2, note the exemption made, limitation of information provided the stakeholders. Yes, of course, we have to provide the information to the stakeholders. If you're a member of or you have the account, with Nationwide always sending letters to when they have the AGM because you're connected, basically you are the stakeholders in Nationwide as a customer and they want to your views, in AGM annual general meeting. Sometimes the matter is so urgent, we need to be called extraordinary general meeting, like, we want to raise the paid or registered capital in the company, how we want to borrow more money, why we want to borrow more money, because we have to justify to the existing shareholders, because ultimately when we expand the business, it will be your current shareholder value will increase, but maybe they think the issuing more shares mean the profit will be distributed to the more shareholders, so we need to be look around those perspectives. Okay. Effective communication, please, is very crucial. We follow 7 C's concept: complete message, concrete message, conscious message, concise message, consideration. And these are, all 7 C's we need to be followed, which we can look around in the next, so use appropriate, the format when you communicate, observing the format, which we need to be look around, like using more professional language, professional present, technically correct, debit and credit and figures and the IS, international accounting standard, and protecting the image of the company and giving the true and fair information. Okay, so we carry on using the word pass and hiss when clearly the purpose, the audience, the structure need to be keep it short and simple, not the full story and very detailed story, but at least the information clear, concise manner is delivered to the stakeholders. Professionalism and corporate image, legibility, neatness, demonstrating competencies, demonstrating the regard for the needs and the users. We can reflect the image of the organization, use of the house style, the guidance, corporate logos, special design, your stationery. That will help to increase the image of your organization. So we can look around the business language, please, informal and formal, appropriate. That we need to be make sure we use the language appropriately, because that's hugely impact, and always, even we need to collect the money from our customer or debtors. We can say if they miss, we can say, of course, we need to write a technical way. Unfortunate, we not heard, you not make the payment. Normally, you make the payment on time, but this occasion, so please, we just want to remind you, and the outstanding amount will be politely and to the point, and account numbers and the amount and specific, so they will let you. So that's we need to be look around, and the formal full grammatical sentence, refer addresses, title and surname, avoid these which we need to be make sure we'll follow. So we can look around formal and the method internal with the colleagues, line managers, the communication. We need to be look around polite, prompt, accurate, and external with the customers. We can use various more methods. Yes, telephone, voicemail, nowadays email, of course, other social medias. We can look around if we're writing the letters, the letterhead, the reference number, the date, yes, the name, address. So we can look around salutations. Yes, these are quite the crucial element which we need to be look around. The title, the summary. Okay, guys, let's please 1 minute. Okay, so we need to think about the formal and sorry about formal and informal communication. Hello, can okay, so we need to be think about the formal, informal. So more we need to be more formal. The title, summary, introduction, finding, conclusion, recommendation, appendices in report. Sometimes we can do informal. Yes, person responsible for sending and preparing the report. So please, we can use the communication more formally in business. Yes. So if you're doing okay, so please one of the things we have to be BCC. When we copy things to one another email or we forward the other things is going. So please always good to be used. If you're many clients you're sending because the GDPR, we're not declaring their email addresses to others, it's better to be used BCC, which is a blind carbon copy, because that's your email won't be shared with others. So that's really we need to be follow in communication, and that is quite crucial, which we need to be look around. Of course, faxes we can do as well, one of the mode of communication, but of course now things change. Mm, Hardly company use the faxes because mostly nowadays emails, because the auto system and reminders and everything is happening. Okay, then we have the 4.3 assessment criteria, assess, non-taxation factor applicable to the individual stakeholders. So please, that's, stake communication play the key role. We have to look around the stakeholders. We have to pass the information and the, non-taxation factors as well, which is not just only because we have to we communicate about strategies, about the missions, about the value or anything, you changing why you changing this mass communication. It goes, sometime, and different digital technologies we use, such as, the social media and various other tools to give the message, so that is also we need to be look around, because otherwise it's a huge impact, our share prices if we don't follow the proper, the communication purposes. So internal, when we do internal communication within the company, between managers and employees, that need to be and regular, like, through teams and meetings and our dashboard, the even the department, not directly responsible, but indirectly some other stakeholders can ask, so they will be well aware of what is happening in company instead of they will hear something on the media. Review internal communication framework, of course, conduct reviews, look around, the channel which you use, effectively manage information, look around, data analytics, how many people view your, if you're advertising something or your business, so that will be used for effectively managing your communication and the result of it and the impact of, because the three major purpose of communication: remind, inform, and persuade. Remind, persuade, and inform, because we want to uh, tell all the stakeholders the right delivery channel. So please, always think about not using high volume words. Think about the communication channel, which is the information is more up to date and relevant, and we can use various mode of like email and various other publish information letters. Sometimes purely, like HMRC letters in different color for envelopes and things, that will be, and some company they're getting information and writing too. So we have to think about, when we're writing, we can do your tax return, this and that, in this price and that. We need to be make sure, it need to be professionally correct, communicate accordingly, because that's, impact and meet the legal requirement. Because if somebody raised the question, where you got my information, you're breaking the GDPR. If you bought the information maybe from various sources, so we have to think about data mining companies, those are selling data and they're breaching the law, that can be impact us because we come up. Okay, so for example, the staff will need the publicly informed, change in the strategic direction or restructuring, which we need to be look at. Okay, sure, I will send you. Yes, that's fine. Okay, so please, we need to be we need to be make sure and we follow these and pick, look around the time, the cost, and the channel, whichever you use, that meet our objective of communication, because there is the objective in farm, in mind, and persuade. So if we not achieving those, so no point. The communicate the mission, the vision, and the value and strategy of the organization, which we can, why we are in the business, what are our values and strategy for the future. We can be aware of the legal responsibility, of course, AGM, declaring of shares and reporting to the stakeholders, publish the financial statement within 90 days of year end and need to be signed off. And that's which we need to be look around accounting standards. Of course, we looking in a taxation point of view as well, meeting all the legal obligations. So ensure consistent communication and processes and procedures, and clearly inform your, maybe on one channel saying different thing, another source of information. So we have to be standardized things instead of communication business performance that need to be regular reviews and update, because sometimes economic factors like nowadays tariff and financial performance is hugely impacted. We're not really misled. Meeting, of course, meeting minutes we can share, and meeting need to be regular arranged. And different types of meeting can be information sharing, informational gathering, problem solving, decision making, planning, and which we can look around the meeting. Can we solve problem, make decision, develop the plan for the future, convey messages. So these all sort of meetings. But again, we have to look around the stakeholders, and sometimes we have a guest speaker, inform your stakeholders, engage with them, because the commercial awareness will help to increase the good image and the goodwill of the company. Okay, so the link is there just for the sake of, if you want to play Kahoot, you can log in and you can. Please, we included the link there, which is normally we use F6 for ACC exam, which will carry on including the link if you want to explore. If you want to find article on ACCA, there is a book called Business Communication by Murphy. Yes, if you want to search online, you can. Otherwise, I'll download and I'll send you ebook as well, just purely on communication. It's called, when you're dealing with your stakeholders as a business person, how we can. And of course, in tax method, these, the things we need to be communicate with the stakeholders. And of course, we need to be look around their expectation. Stakeholders mean anyone who has any interest in business. It's called stake. Okay, that's all our learning outcome this was about. And the next lesson, please, will be assignment discussion, which will be on Saturday. So please, if you attend, I will send you all the recording. I'll send you the on the WhatsApp, I'll share with you activity sheets, like the capital gain tax, in employment. I can send you all, but think about again, whichever years please you're dealing, go back, download the finance act, apply the rates. Huh? So normally most of the rates staying the same, but it's a matter of which year, because no hard and fast rule from ATHE and IFA is whichever rate, as long we meet the criteria, is absolutely fine. Huh? So next lesson, I'll show you how to do reference, how to create table of content, how we can embed example, where we can get information from, and that will be crucial, lessons for assignment purposes. Okay, anyone, any question before we finish? Okay, thanks for attending today's session, and hope all will speak to you next week, and have a lovely week and enjoy weather. It's nice sunny today. And if anyone, any question, just drop me email, I'll just message, I can book one-to-one and we can go through and explore, things accordingly. Have a lovely weekend. Thank you. Thanks for joining. Yes, I'll send you all these slides. Yes. I'm going to send you on the WhatsApp. Okay, I'll share with you all these slides. Thank you. Speak to you next week.